about to inflict a third defeat of the season on the reigning champions. So Saints have a bit of a score to settle on a steamy night in the northwest as referee Chris Kendall gets us underway. There was a lot of heat generated when they last met with the issue of Leigh skipper John Asiata's tackling technique. He is not playing tonight, but I don't imagine that's going to lessen any needle, Terry.
No, beaten in the league, knocked out with the Challenge Cup in the semi. It was a ferocious game, and I'm sure on Saints' mind is a bit of payback, isn't it? Obviously, Asiata not playing. I didn't realise they picked up an injury, or whether it's tactical because they knew what to expect from this Saints side. And Saints are going to have to find, or Leigh are going to have to find a different way of winning this game without Asiata, because he has been so influential this year.
No John Asiata, no Josh Charnley either in the Leigh side, which is a big absence. Super League's top try scorer with 3 rounds remaining, although I noticed Tom Johnston is already in the act. There is Charnley watching on. Tom Johnston scoring for the Catalan Dragons in their game at Wakefield this evening. First kick of the game is collected by Gareth O'Brien, then he invites Tom Briscoe to have a run, and St Helens invites him to go back where he came from. Saints in this chocolate and sky blue design shirt, which predates the red V all the way back to the 1890s, and it is based on a trading card image.
Well, they might just added a touch of red on it then with the challenge from Matty Lees then when he flew out the line. Look at this, pressing really hard. Got to do a job on that man as well. I think he has been another one of those standout players for the Leopards this year. Tom Amon.
Without doubt, the battle is through the middle of the field, and I think St Helens, through Morgan Knowles and Matty Lees, will look to impose themselves. They're quick across the ground, they've got agility, and Morgan Knowles, I actually believe James Bell at loose forward, Morgan Knowles at front row is the best setup for St Helens. James Bell provides infinite number of attacking threats that maybe Morgan Knowles will struggle with this year. So Saints will be looking to utilise that threat through the middle.
Lamb's kick collected by Jack Wellsby, making his 100th Super League appearance. The Saints, fierce on Mark Percival, that was. It was Ed Chamberlain, I think, leading the way, who's come into the side this evening in Charnley's absence. Oliver Gildart going onto the wing, and I tell you what, Leigh are giving as good as they're getting so far.
Well, defending on the toes, getting off the line out, and been very aggressive in contact.
Sione Matautia just agreed a new deal with the Saints to remain at the club. And Saints inside. The Leigh Leopards 30, that's the 5th tackle. Leigh plays the ball. Roby, here's Harry Smith. Launching the kick up high. Briscoe, and Briscoe claimed that one well, under pressure. Let's have a look at what else is going on elsewhere. Catalan 12-0 up at Wakefield. Huddersfield 6-0 up against Hull KR, of course. The Robins vying for a top 6 place. Castleford vying to avoid relegation. 6-0 up against Hull FC.
How big's that? Huddersfield, Hull KR. It's getting twitchy there for Hull KR. This is an amazing season with so much jeopardy.
You know, you go back to the kick from St Helens. Tom Briscoe tried ever so hard to get his foot behind the try line so they could tap it on the 20. Look how hard it is for them to get. That is the 20 now they've just made on the last play. Yeah. Great defence from Saints.
And it's Amon playing the ball just over his own 20-metre line. It needs to be a good kick from Lachlan Lamb, left-footed, straight down the field and into the arms of John Bennison, continuing on the wing. The 20-year-old has been on that flank for the last 3 games, preferred to T. Ritson.
And that's now just over the halfway line. And you look now, you'll see Saints now start shifting the ball. You get all the players directing. It'll come from that man in the middle, James Bell. He goes deep at the line, and all the outside backs play nice and deep from the back, and that's that.
Roby running and making good ground there, the Saints veteran. Now here is James Bell. Bell's short ball. Referee calls held as Morgan Knowles is stopped about 5 metres away from that line. Lomax with a little kick. Percival is chasing it. O'Brien there first, and O'Brien was taken high. Well, that's the view of the Leigh supporters.
No, yeah, it was a fair challenge. It was a strong challenge from Percival. It's a smart kick from Johnny Lomax, draws the defensive line up. Kick for Percival, who chases so well. And it's a fair challenge there on Gareth O'Brien. But how about this from James Roby? Barry McDermott said he wanted to see him make inroads through the middle of the field. Well, that's what James Roby's done his whole career. Obviously, probably not as potent an athlete as he was in his younger years, but still smart where it counts.
He is 38 at the end of the year, John.
I know. Oh, he looks it.
Gareth O'Brien with that goal line dropout then after the tackle on him. And Leigh's charging it back, just winding up for that run towards Zach Hardaker, and Leigh's having a little tussle there.
He has no respect for his body at all, does he, Matty Leigh?
Kindred spirits.
And this is the other part of the game from James Bell. He's tough enough to carry that ball as well, not just a player that likes to play.
Lomax, here is Morgan Knowles now. Missed the game against Wakefield last week. Another Saints victory. Knowles didn't like that from Tom Amone. Welsby, there's a Leigh hand in there to knock that ball back, and it's 6 to go as Roby scoops it up, and Saints will come again.
Yeah, it was a big decision from Chamberlain, who he had to come in and shut it down. It was a nice play from Lomax to get Welsby away, and Welsby had that 3-on-2 situation. Look, Jack Welsby loves firing that pass across there to Tommy Makinson. It's a strong read from Chamberlain, but it was needed, because those situations are just meat and drink for that man there, Jack Welsby.
The players taking advantage of this stoppage to gulp in some air. It's a really steamy night. Humidity level is high. Sweat glistening on them already. And Saints turning up the heat here with Lomax. Amazing that Saints have had the same half-back combination throughout this season. Lomax and Dodd. How many other sides would envy them that? They've gone through all sorts of permutations elsewhere. It's been same again every week for the Saints, and here they are on the attack. It's James Bell runs into the clutches of Robbie Mulhern. The Leigh supporters, that end of the ground, urging their side on in their defensive effort. They've got their work cut out here as Percival comes across field, and it's Robbie Mulhern again leading the way.
That's good defence from Robbie Mulhern.
Roby's ball to Bell. On it goes Harry Smith, and here is Welsby. A Welsby little step and just an ankle tap. He was tackled, says the referee, before that offload came. Fifth tackle. Can Leigh survive this onslaught? Another kick comes through. The chase is led by Batchelor.
Oh, it's just lost by Batchelor, isn't it? It's another pressing kick from St Helens, encouraging a chase. Batchelor does chase. Look at them all flattening up. Johnny Lomax, Batchelor flattening up, expecting the kick off Dodd. Batchelor couldn't reclaim it. And Leigh just get a relieving tap 20, Bill.
Big sigh of relief from the Leopard supporters who've travelled in numbers this evening. And they've had a lot to cheer about. They've had a busy week, the Leigh Leopard supporters. 2 games in the space of 3 days. With that Huddersfield game taking 2 instalments. Is Tom Amone. Appeals to the referee, and the set restart is signalled. Amone applauds that decision.
And that'll really help them out. They have been under some pressure. Get away from the line in some good field position here.
Here is Jack Hughes, making his 250th Super League appearance. Career sometimes interrupted by injury. Ben Reynolds. Here's Matt Davis. Davis shoves off Lewis Dodd on that charge. Reynolds again. Reynolds manages to get the pass away to Lamb. Lamb to O'Brien, and Gildart will be in for the first try of the night. Leigh have soaked up the pressure. They've kept Saints at bay. And Saints protest. The referee, Chris Kendall, waves them away. And Gildart gets his first try in Leigh Leopards colours. It's a short-lived relationship, Oliver Gildart. He'll be off to Hull Kingston Rovers next season, but he's made his mark tonight.
Well, Bill, the first chance they get, the first shot they get, putting on this attacking move, and it comes up. Who says they can't play without John Asiata? Quality play. Look at that, they just pull the defenders out the line. And Gareth O'Brien, how important is he at the back. Saints can't get it quite right. Oliver Gildart, the class, the acceleration over on the edge, on the outside of Tommy Makinson. What a start, what a response from Adrian Lamb's side.
And really smart from Leigh. Ben Reynolds, who obviously occupies the right-hand side for Leigh, well, he swung across to the left and fulfilled John Asiata's role. My question's this: you're a defender for St Helens. You look up in front of you, you see Ben Reynolds, Lachlan Lamb, and Gareth O'Brien. Like, is there a bigger clue the ball's coming that way? So to get your numbers wrong and to make a sloppy read on the end of it, I think that's poor defence from St Helens, who've been the best defensive side yet again this year, but really smart from that man Reynolds and really smart from Leigh.
Ben Reynolds then lining up this conversion. Interestingly, the previous two meetings, which Leigh have won against Saints, they trailed early on in those games. This is a novel experience. They're ahead by 6 points to 0 now.
Yeah, everybody be delighted. Derek Beaumont's delighted. He's always delighted. Why wouldn't it be after the year that his team have had? But it's really smart from the spine of the Leigh side, and we see them combining. It's a Pape, Reynolds doing the Asiata role to Lamb, and then O'Brien comes up with a money ball to Gildart. Saints are stripped for numbers, they're struggling big time, but smart from Leigh.
But you had three willing dummy runners as well in them all. Mulhern, and I think it was O'Donnell as well, which was attracting the attention of the defenders.
Lachlan Lamb did well there. Could he have left that?
It's tight.
Just managed to avoid immediately conceding possession to the Saints. But Saints immediately putting the pressure on. And ooh, from the crowd at that challenge on Kai O'Donnell. Here is Mulhern having an outstanding season. The Irish international. And Ipapi with a quick dart. Matt Davis to Lamb, to Ben Reynolds. It's Reynolds who gets the kick away and into the arms of John Bennison.
And now they've got some field position on the back of a decent set of six, a decent kick, be squeaky clean here, no set restarts, no penalties, and they're certainly in the game here.
And they're certainly enthusiastic in defence, trying to restrict Saints' progress as Makinson tries to make some yards. Busy nights, and Catalan still lead 12-0. Holkear have hit back at John Smith, 6 points apiece. Sean Kenny-Dowell, the try scorer, and Hull FC have hit back at the Mendehoes Jungle. Adam Swift, 6 points apiece. Here come the Saints. Here comes Sione Matautia. Hughes with the tackle on him. That's the 5th. Lomax has time to pick his spot into a bit of space, and it's O'Brien who claims it.
Yeah, I think one of the issues for St Helens this year, it's not been the defence, ironically, after they've just conceded a try, but it's been their inability to score points when they've needed to. Now, Saints build pressure, and Lauren Fresinu, when we've interviewed him, talk about the long game. My frustration with Saints sometimes has been pull the trigger, put a play on, not just build pressure.
Papi again with the run. Had a big game against Saints in March in the 20 points to 12 win in Super League. Papi. O'Donnell with the drive. On the last. The ball back with Reynolds, and he drills that one downfield, straight down the heart of the field.
And it's a great carry from Kai O'Donnell. The play before kick, you need quick ruck speed, and just the difference in the quality of kick you get away when you get a quick ruck. Fantastic carry and play forward from Kai O'Donnell.
Wellesby pinned to the ground by Briscoe. Saints supporters not impressed, but it's good defence from the Leopards.
Well, they work really hard, don't they? And you look at this Leigh side, and you could look, Tom Amon, probably his best season of his career. You could say the same about it. Papi, Lachlan Lamb, like a lot of players. Rob Mulhern, they're doing a great job. Look at that.
O'Donnell on Lomax. Roby tries to get the pass away. Did it go forward? Not so. say the officials.
It's great that from O'Donnell. Pressure from the inside. Just makes sense. Play or get into positions that they don't like. Fantastic defence.
Dodd with a towering kick. O'Brien safe as houses underneath it. And Percival says, come here.
Well, that's it now. You can see that Mark Percival's know that they're getting belted about a bit, so he's trying to lift his teammates, his forwards, saying, look, if I'm going to do it, I want you lots to do it on second, third and fourth tackle.
Field arts round now. Here is Briscoe. Briscoe gets the ball away to Hardacre. Had his run-ins before against Saints. Zach Hardacre in his Wigan career. He's slow to get to his feet. Hughes. He can't make much progress. 4 tackles gone. It's ferocious out there. Lovely work from Matt Davis. Good step. Roby was wise to it. Makes the tackle. Lamb with the kick on the last and over the top of Makinson. It's a good kick.
And it's another great carry from Matt Davis on play 4. We saw like Kai O'Donnell, and then that just allows Lachlan Lamb a little bit more time. There's no kick pressure on him. He catches Tommy Makinson, what you'd say, no man's land, and it's this carry that sets it up. It's a show and go. They're not expecting him to run. He does, and that ruck speed just gives Lachlan Lamb so much time. And with the accuracy of his son's kicking game, Adrian Lamb, that we see there, is lethal.
Well, he had to react then, Matt Davis. I think he was looking to play, and then obviously he reacted to the defence outside him. The gap opened up, and clever play from him. He can't put pressure on himself trying to play like Asiata does. He's just got to go out there and play his game.
Benison steps. Ipape stops. Set restarts. Ipape just a bit too enthusiastic. Look at this defence from the Leopards. Roby manages to keep it alive. Morgan Knowles. And Knowles with Jack Hughes and Robbie Mulhern all over him. Saints are getting a taste of their own medicine here.
Well, they're not given many time and space, are they? They're closing down the thinking time for James Roby and his side.
Can they sustain this, Leigh? Wellesby does get the pass away. Lovely to Makinson from Percival. Now Makinson has got Lomax inside him. Lomax has got the pace. He's got Batchelor. Batchelor back. It comes to Makinson. Wonderful try from the Saints. That's what they can do to you. You think you've got him under the cosh, and then they will cut loose like that. And Tommy Makinson gets his 21st try of the season, to the jubilation of the Saints supporters, including Michael Smith.
I said about Saints pulling the trigger, about actually firing some shape at Leigh, rather than running into the teeth of an aggressive defence all the time. Well, they do that through Bell and Lomax and Wellesby. And how much better do they look when they move the ball? Now that stresses edge defenders out, and once Tommy Makinson, Johnny Lomax are in space, then it's nice patient work from Batchelor to give it back to Makinson. But it all starts from this. Ball movement through Bell. It's not flashy, it's not risky, but it just stretches Chamberlain, it stretches Gildart, and then once Makinson's away and Batchelor's supporting, it's all over.
What about the offload from Mark Percival? Outstanding try. You know, they can just get you when you switch off for a second. You know what's going to unfold in front of you. When the ball goes from Bell, then it goes to Lomax, then it goes to Wellesby. You've got to try and defend it, and I think that when Percival got that ball, the lead defenders were hoping that that tackle would have been executed.
Yeah, and look, I think ball movement like that is just a great way of chewing up metres. So Saints would have done that, realistically, just to make some easy metres and get a ruck win. And it's just a pure bonus that's led to a line break and resulted in a try. Teams use ball movement. Paul Rowley, who's in studio, uses ball movement to get metres.
Tommy Makinson, I think that's tries in 6 in a row now. A rich vein of form, as they say.
11 tries in the last 6, I think I've got it down for.
Now Mark Percival has got the goal-kicking duties. He's kicked 42 this season. Makinson normally has the job, or generally has the job, but Percival's pretty good at it as well. 6 points apiece.
Well, Tommy Makinson looking at pushing hard there to end up the season with that top try scoring award. I just look at Mark Percival, the work that he does coming out of trouble, but just have a little look at this pass. He comes onto it, pulls in the winger, supplies that ball. That is outstanding, sucks in Gildart, and then Batchelor, always pushing up, always supporting, gives the ball out to Tommy Makinson.
And it's just so much more effective, isn't it? This from Percival, great offload.
Class.
But it's one-on-one. You're putting players in a one-on-one position. Excellent.
Saints supporters be getting misty-eyed, won't they? Sort of touch of Matt Gidley or
a little bit.
Or Jamie Lyon. Yeah.
Percy will be happy with that. Mark Percival will be delighted with that comparison.
LKR have turned that around, 14 points to 6. They lead now at Huddersfield.
The Robins want in, Bill. They want into that playoffs, don't they?
Well, there's only room for 6.
I know. And Leigh have made a mess of that, haven't they, by being in there?
Here's Roby. Lomax. Back to James Bell. Bell, once of the Leigh club, made 20 appearances in season 2021. Wellesby now. Lamb with the tackle on him. Ed Chamberlain comes across to assist. On the last. And Lewis Dodd with a difficult kick for O'Brien. He did well there, Gareth O'Brien. He's a brave player, Gareth O'Brien. The Saints have been penalised.
Yeah, the tackle was complete. He is so brave at the back. He doesn't get enough credit. His support play is outstanding.
Oh, it's done from Matty Leigh. Matty Leigh comes, it's a great base from him. Tackles completed here. That's just, it's effort, but it's misplaced effort from Matty Leigh's. You know, he prides himself on ferocious and committing challenges, but there needs to be some sharp years as well.
And look at that, 20 minutes into the game. We thought this game was going to have a bit of needle, and that's the first penalty of the game. And there's been a problem this couple of minutes with Johnny Lawrence just taking a breather over on the right-hand side. He was just on the wing. I'm not saying he's trying to get out the firing line. He was certainly holding his shoulder, his arm long ago.
Dodd makes the tackle with the run. And she a bit just in 40 on the look, Reynolds under pressure.
I've been speaking about generating ruck speed before he kicked the ball. Well, it wasn't quite there, and then we see a prime example of what that allows a defensive team to do. It's Morgan Knowles puts Reynolds under pressure. Reynolds slices his kick out of bounds. It's a process.
Adrian Lamb thoughtful on the sidelines, the Leigh Leopards coach, because his side have conceded possession well inside their own half against a side well capable of taking advantage of that. Here is Batchelor. Just outside that Leigh 30 is Bell. Takes it into the tackle. There's 4 of them. Roby. Dodds. Matautia did well this time. The flick doesn't work and Briscoe picks it up.
It looked like the blind offload, didn't it? He knew that there was numbers outside him, but he just couldn't quite execute that pass then. And maybe sometimes you've got to credit the way that Leigh have been defending, and Batchelor again coming across a couple of his teammates to slow this play down. What's that, 4 players in with a blind offload, can't quite get it.
Lamb. As Kai O'Donnell avoids the challenge, the first one from Matautia. Little run from Ed Chamberlain. Patient understudy, Ed Chamberlain, 18th man for the last 3 games. But he's appeared when it mattered. He was in the centres for that mammoth game against Saints in the Cup, the semi-final. Here is Lamb, the hero of Wembley, with his drop goal as Wellesby claims it.
And it's a good job he's got a good boot, because again it was just 24 metres they made in that set of 6 carrying the ball. It's been really difficult for them.
that's where Saints really apply a lot of effort, isn't it? It's into that area where they just try and suppress how many metres you make and get into this sort of area of the field too easily. And Percival and Makinson now start coming out of the cannon, and this is difficult momentum to stop.
Robin trying to keep the momentum going. Here is John Bennison. Saints marching the Leopards backwards. Set restart signalled as Leigh tried to put some brakes on this Saints advance. Lomax, little burst of pace from Lomax, but Batchelor couldn't take the ball and acknowledges such.
Well, Johnny Lomax apologises, doesn't he? He just can't quite take it. I think there's only Lamb in front of him. But I think when you look at Leigh, the way they defended, Rob Mulhern shot the line. Tommy Makinson used his footwork, managed to play the ball quickly. Mark Percival came on the next one, made so many metres. Then on the back of that, Leigh couldn't control it. So if you are going to come out the line and show that effort and energy like Mulhern did, you need players around you to do the same.
Yeah, connected with your D is the way to play, and all teams aim to be connected, and groups of people being aggressive together often works.
Oh, a little bit of a discussion in that front row there. Chris Kendall just laying down the law.
Heads in. Well done, boys.
Well done, boys, he says. Headmaster Kendall.
Get clear.
Castleford Tigers have got their noses in front against Hull FC. And a length of the field try from Jason Gary. An interception job. These two sides like to throw the ball back. They like scoring tries. Percival, and that was high. That's the view of the Leigh supporters. Percival all smiles in the middle of it.
Well, and that's what you get from Mark Percival. Carries the ball strongly, defends aggressively, got the skill, got some of the best skill that you'll see from a centre, and he got a Mourn in his targets and said, right, this is it, let's go for him. He flies off the line, hits him, players come in.
I like it because what he's doing is showing intent. But I think for me it's two players as Chris Kendall decides to have a chat. Let's listen to these guys.
Right, I'm going the greater advantage is an offside penalty. It is high, but we're going for an offside penalty. No, listen. No, mate, no, don't worry about that. Listen, I've had to speak to two forwards at the scrum, which I shouldn't have to, and then we've had this running in again. You need to get into your boys and sort it out, or I will. Penalty's here for offside.
Well, picking up prop forwards at the scrum, but doesn't have a go at the centre who flies in and gives a high shot away. But he's give the penalty away for being offside. But again, he's trying to lead by his actions.
But it's daft, Tez.
No, I get that, and sometimes you get it wrong by leading by your actions.
You do, yeah, and we talked about collectively being aggressive. Well, Saints have defended admirably here by all being collectively aggressive. Now, do they need to get into this? Is my conversation that we should have. Do they need to be reckless and be almost on the edge of that physicality?
A moan is absolutely felled by these Leigh defenders. I think it was James Bell.
It was. Well, Leigh has got a massive tag on him. There you go. And there's a knock-on.
It's going to kick off, this is.
And do you know what? The celebration here. And if you're a Leigh player now, you're thinking, right, OK, not a problem. I'll clap my hands, I'll dust myself down. I'm going to get back on the 10, and I'm going to try and do exactly the same to Saints.
Yeah, I take it back. Bring it on. Bring it on, Bill. Look what that's done to the crowd. Hit!
Ding dong bell!
Honestly,
hey, the intensity how both these sides have defended. My question was, we're saying it's going to be reckless with it. There's nothing reckless about this. The way they defended on those last few plays lifted everybody in this stadium.
Tell you what, John Asiata was going to be the fuse for this game, we thought, given the fallout from the last time they met. They don't need him.
No, well, poor old Tom O'Moon's feeling the force, isn't he? The powerhouse that takes this Leigh side forward. Everyone's got the targets on him.
6 points apiece, and now it's Leigh's turn to dish out the punishment. Well, these two sides, as an attacking force, have been impressive this season. They both scored 95 tries each. It's 96 tries each now after their tries scored so far this evening, but I tell you what, there are no slouches in defence, and George Delaney, the young front rower, is on. Whew.
If I was young George Delaney, I would have been saying on the sideline, just give me 5 minutes.
It's Lewis Dodds managing to keep out of trouble there. Lomax outside of the boot with the kick. O'Brien is there. Ooh, now then. Somebody came away from that tackle, holding their arm. I think it, I'm not sure who that was. Was it Ben Davis?
Yeah, I think it was, Bill. But you win games of this, in this intensity, and everybody's flying in, it's the moments of clarity and execution that matter, Bill, because you can get consumed by this, by the niggle, by the aggression, by the intensity of it. But the clearest head now in this closing 10 minutes of this half will come up trumps.
Hardaker not impressed with something that went on in the tackle there. Here is Gildart, try scorer. He looks at the referee, appealing for something. Ben Nakubawai now. Lachlan Lamb needs a good kick to get his side up the field, but it's into the arms of Benison.
Again, Bill, just 15 metres carrying the ball. It's punishing defence from both of these sides.
I don't know how they do it. It is so warm, the humidity is so high, and yet the effort they're putting in out there is incredible.
Well, they're outstanding. You'll find the players in Super League that are really, they set themselves apart from other sports, the way that they play the game.
Moan came shooting out the line, trying to get one on Delaney there, missed, much to the light of the Saints supporters. Here is Wellesby, gets the pass away to Roby. Here is George Delaney. Delaney with a good run. Down the short side they go. Lewis Dodd, and Dodd is scragged to the ground by Jack Hughes. Dodd plays the ball. Here is Lomax now. Lomax, little chip kick. Batchelor is chasing, but he's beaten to the ball.
How honest is Batchelor? Joe Batchelor, his work ethic is absolutely incredible. What he does for his side, and John, I'm sure you'll tell me that when you're playing in a Saints side, there's always a player or two that has the work ethic, the energy like that.
His combination with Johnny Lomax on that right edge is pretty lethal, and he chases kicks willingly. He's scored many tries through doing that, and just his combination and willingness to chase lost causes has won Saints a drop out here. Fantastic kick from Johnny Lomax.
Yeah, it was a good job that Ed Chamberlain was there to get to the ball first.
Yeah.
Should pay credit to him.
Well, if Leigh have got anything to be happy about, the Saints have had 32 play the balls in Leigh's half. Leigh have only had 6 in the St Helens half, so they've defended well considering the volume of work they've had to do.
Is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook coming off the bench once again, the record holder for the number of appearances from the bench in Super League. Bell, Dodd's ball to Matautia with a puppy down round his ankles. He takes them, putting down. Referee calls held. Jack Hughes clinging on for as long as he dare. Here is Bell. Bell's short ball to LMS, but he is stopped. Frankie Holton it was with the tackle. I beg your pardon, Joe Wardle it was with the tackle. Here's Roby. Roby fancies it, almost finds it. Wardle again in there. O'Brien defending his line. But Saints hammering as half-time approaches, looking for a breakthrough. And it was Delaney chasing the kick.
This game is outstanding, isn't it? You know, again, it's a clever kick from Johnny Lomax. Delaney pushing up, Reynolds not taking any chances.
It's a smart kick as well, because Gareth O'Brien was mixed up in the ruck, so he probably wasn't out of that ruck area quick enough. Lomax spotted that. He knew he was going to kick that under the sticks because of O'Brien's defensive position. And this is just pressure, isn't it? That's 37 play the balls now in the Leigh half. But Saints, they need to convert this pressure to points, Bill. They need to get away from Leigh here.
Gareth O'Brien, a puff of the cheeks, a shake of the head from the 31-year-old. Had a loan spell at Saints back in 2013, did Gareth O'Brien. pretty productive one. He played 7 games and kicked 25 goals.
His half-back partner is rubbish.
Let's go down to the sidelines, hear from Jenna Brooks.
Yeah, evening, Bill. I can tell you Zach Hardacre has just been forced off the pitch. He didn't want to come. He's coming off for a head injury assessment. Frankie Halton has just come on for him.
Thanks, Jenna. Meanwhile, George Delaney charges that ball back. He's stopped in his tracks. Half-time approaching. Saints looking to get their noses in front, having trailed early on. Here is Bell. Manages to offload to Roby. Roby gets it away to Dodd. 3 tackles gone. Frankie Halton with the tackle, back in the side, having recovered from a torn pectoral muscle. Roby's pass. Here is Welsby. Lamb hits the ground. There's a Saints player in trouble. It's Lomax who is down, still on his back, clutching his sides.
I said before he's been struggling probably the last 10 minutes or so.
Play continues, and it's another one for O'Brien to deal with, and again he claims it well. He's taking a hat off to him.
He's spending a lot of time down in Saints' in Leigh's half.
Well,
sorry, with the ball. I mean, I'm just looking at 42 play the balls they've had in the opposition's half compared to just 6 from Leigh. The good thing for Leigh, though, they scored a try on their set. So
Terry, I can only remember that one episode where they scored when we've been looking to that end of the field, really.
I agree.
That was the one set in Saints' half, wasn't it? So Leigh's defence here has been incredible,
really
fantastic. Saints will be frustrated, but this is another opportunity.
I think it's a big 5 minutes for Leigh. They've got to make sure that they keep Saints out.
It's going to be Saints head and feet at this scrum, I think. Tony Clubb on the sideline for the Leigh Leopards. Tony, this is fantastic defence from your side.
Yeah, it is, and we're making it hard for ourselves. We're just not giving ourselves an opportunity to get out and put some pressure on up their end. You know, we're doing well, but it's going to come back and bite us later on in the game because we're losing energy here. So Saints are strangling us to death at the minute. So we just need to be smarter with the ball, maybe kick the ball out and get our breath back.
Got some defending to do here, Tony, sorry.
That's all right, mate, that's all right. Like I said, we're defending really well, but it's going to gas us come towards the back end of the game, so we just need to be smart and maybe get the ball out.
Thanks, Tony.
No, you're more than welcome, guys.
So
Diamond geezer.
So polite, isn't he?
Yes, in the heat of battle. And that's the thing that astonishes me. In the middle of all this, here come the Saints with the Metaltia now. And he's spun round, probably got dizzy by now. Can Leigh withstand the pressure? Metaltia shoves her hand in the face of Reynolds. Oh, and then Dodd makes a hash of it just at the right time from the Leigh perspective.
That's, I think, a big moment in this game. I agree completely with Tony Clubb that his team will be gassed at the back end of the game. But the more this goes on, the more Saints don't maybe score. That can have a psychological negative impact on Saints and actually buoy Leigh somewhat. If they can get to half-time, have a breather, I think Adrian Lamb will be delighted. And sheer weight of numbers of possession, of the amount of tackles this side has had to make. If they can get in at 6-all, it's a huge result.
If they can get out of their own half, it'll be a huge result. But they do have possession from this scrum after that mistake from Lewis Dodd. And here is Ed Chamberlain.
And this is where, if you're a forward in a leopard shirt, the back end of the set, you're looking for your halfback to knock the ball over the sideline. And then James Bell just flying off the line.
It was Wardle who was on the receiving end, and he felt that. Still on his haunches, Joe Wardle after that tackle, holding the back of his head. Is Ben Nakubuwai, Fijian international. Joe Wardle just having a bit of attention. Epape drops the ball. Well, you're not going to make any progress.
Well, the rucks to play the balls are far too slow. Edwin Epape picks the ball up himself because he knows that the previous 2 or 3 players haven't been quick enough He loses possession on a good shot from Joe Bachelor. Turns around, holds his hands up. Well, it's a big set they've got to come up with here now.
Yes.
One more set of 6 they've got to defend.
Yeah, and Edwin Pape, he's obviously doing a lot of work through the middle of the field, as are all of the 25 tackles for Robin Mulhern, 21 for Kai O'Donnell, 17 for Jack Hughes. So the forwards through the middle of the field are having to do an awful lot of work here for Leigh.
Last couple of minutes of a ferocious first half here at the totally wicked stadium between the Saints, who are third in the table, the reigning champions, the Leigh Leopards, the newly crowned Challenge Cup holders, and the side who derailed Saints Challenge Cup hopes earlier this season. The new boys this season, and what an impression they have made. Welsby puts the brakes on, then finds Roby, and Roby slips. 3 tackles gone. Here is Lomax. Lomax gets the pass on to Welsby again. Spins. Finds Lewis Dodd, and Dodd drifting across the field. Delaney now, but Delaney runs into Ipapi. Ipapi does the first job. Matt Davies finishes him off. Roby. The last minutes of the first half. Gildarts. And that's his touch, says the referee. It will be another goal line dropout.
It's just indecision from Gildart, isn't it? It looked like the kick, it looked like a poor kick. It was great pressure from Kai O'Donnell. Gildart just maybe not sure what's around him and opting for safety first.
Tell you what, when you got Tommy Makinson breathing down your neck.
Yeah, but I think just make an effort to get there and catch that, and then look, this gives St Helens 2 players of attack.
Well, he plays that back in his head. He doesn't do that, does he?
Just catch it.
And that's it, the pressure of Percival and Makinson behind him. Pressure makes you do things that you're not accustomed to.
Lomax, who I think will welcome half-time because of that bang in the ribs he's got. Delaney with the first charge. Last few seconds. Can Saints make it count? Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook is hoping to. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook might. He's stopped just short of the try line. And there is the hooter. Final act of the first 40 minutes. And Leigh survive again. Just for a moment it seemed to open up for Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, but he couldn't find the pace. And Leigh, as they have done throughout this first 40 minutes, demonstrate heroic defence to keep the Saints at bay and keep the scoreline at 6 points apiece.
Thank you very much, Bill. The temperature in this match, matching the conditions here at the home of the champions. It is sizzling, it is simmering, it is threatening to explode. They're locked up at 6 points apiece. St Helens hoping for a first victory over the Leigh Leopards in 2023. Adrian Lamb's side, well, very much in this match. Oliver Gildart's first try for his club opened up the score, and we'll discuss it all in the company of Barry McDermott and Paul Rowley after this short break.
It certainly should be, Brian. It is more than 40 years since Leigh's last away win over Saints, October 1982. Leigh were actually the reigning champions then, and they won 1910 at Knowsley Road. When they have met since then, it has gone Saints' way until this season, when Leigh have won both meetings so far. This one level as the second half gets underway. Oh! When Wardle sets the tone.
Whoa, and young George Delaney got rocked back. The doctor or physio needs to have a little look at him, mate. Well, he's a tough thing. He gets rocked back, Joe Wardle, while taking no prisoners.
Well, Delaney back involved in the tackle after that stunning start to the second half. No let up in the intensity of this game. Ipape, and here is Wardle. He hasn't had a very busy week. He did 3 minutes in the game against Huddersfield because he came on, the lights went out. 24 hours later, wherever it was, the lights went back on and he was immediately substituted. Benison has the ball for the Saints. Laurent Fraser, who is their assistant coach, he's on the sideline. Laurent, what's the approach in the second half for St Helens?
To stick to what we've done the first 40 minutes. Defensively, we've been very good, so we need to keep on doing that. Improve a few things in attack with the ball, especially in good ball. But regarding the long game, we're winning the long game, so we need to stick to that and be better with the ball.
Is there a bit of frustration that, despite all the possession, you haven't managed to create many opportunities?
No, not at all. That's what we talk about at our time. Is stay patient, and we'll have the reward at some point.
Laura, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Elsewhere, second half underway, and the Catalan Dragons in control against Wakefield, and Hull KR 20 points to 12 up against Huddersfield, and Casavard on course maybe to make themselves safe. Oh, the ball is allowed to bounce, and the referee is going to bring them back as Saints were offside ultimately.
Yeah, well, they got a penalty. Leigh, the hearts were in the mouths. You can see James Bell and a number of players just over the right side. I think it's LMS. We're offside. The referee called it, along with the touch judges. Young George Delaney's just left the field after the doctor and physio must have been reviewing it on the sideline. They took the decision to take the young man off and take him down the tunnel and give him a head test.
Well, I think we can hear more on that from Jenna.
Yeah, Tej, you just touched on it there. George Delaney has come off for a head injury assessment. He's gone straight down the tunnel. I'll keep you updated with that one.
That's hardly surprising given the intensity of that early charge.
Well, that's it, Bill. It's not just what you see. Like, the doctors will review that, and you can see by his head going back the reaction on the floor.
I think the encouraging thing is he gets straight up. You know, when you're in that position and you're concussed, it's called tonic posturing. You lay on your back and your arms sort of stay in the air. For me, he reacted quite nicely, so hopefully he'll pass that head injury assessment.
Well, Leigh venturing into Saints territory early on in this second half. 6 points apiece it is. Here's Lachlan Lamb. Lamb's short ball to Kai O'Donnell. No progress from O'Donnell. O'Brien. Here's Lamb once more. Ipape. Great recruit the PNG international has been, Edwin Ipape. Now here's Lamb once more. Lamb finds O'Brien, but O'Brien is brought down by Percival on the last. That'll be the turnover.
Yeah, nice read from Mark Percival. There's a lot of intent, and I think that the tone was set from Joe Waddle's carry straight from the kickoff. Different attitude maybe from Leigh when they're carrying the ball, trying to punch holes in Saints tonight. It's going to be very difficult, but this is a good part of the field, and this is the area where they want to be at.
I just want to pick Laurent Fresno. He's mentioned the long game. I spoke about that. St Helens consistently mentioned the long game. For me, I think that's where they get in trouble. I think they're too patient, and I think they get into too tight situations come the back end of games. Now, if Leigh get 50-50 possession, the evidence is that Leigh can score some points here. My question mark, can Saints?
Makinson does well to offload. Lomax finds Percival. Percival trying to get free away from Chamberlain and manages offload to Welsby. Welsby spins the ball out straight into the arms of Hardacre, and Hardacre is away. No, he's not, because Metalcia brings him down around the neck, and that will be a penalty and some afters as well.
Well, they're a bit rattled there, Saints. Leigh have come out, they're the better side in the opening nearly 5 minutes in this game. Jack Welsby doesn't need to throw that ball. Look, you're 5 minutes into the second half. It's 6 apiece. Like, when they scored that try, it was because they scored it on the back of getting that decent field position and pulling defenders out the line. That was never going to trouble anybody, that pass.
No, and it's a grabby high tackle from Sony Metaltia, but we've seen two things. Sony Metaltia flicked the pass, we're not looking, and Jack Welsby throwing a miracle ball there. Now, that's not the long game, so decide what you're doing.
The NFL season has started, and Welsby's in the mood. Here is Ben Nakuba-White. And they are in front of those Saints posts as Ipape sells a bit of a dummy. Here's Matt Davis now. Davis having a great season. He's been in the side for 26 of the 28 games so far. Ipape. Here is Lamb. Lamb, little burst of pace. O'Brien almost taking him on. Batchelor up high. Just manages to stop him. Referee says that was Gareth O'Brien's own doing, the fact that he had his head stuck under Johnny Lomax's arm. There is Wardle. 31 years of age now, Joe Wardle playing the ball. Here is Ben Reynolds. Reynolds on it comes to Lamb. Lamb to O'Brien. Hardacre. Hardacre has got Briscoe. He might not need him. He might not need him, Jack Hardacre. I think he's held up. He's in touch, and Saints get plaudits for their defence.
Yeah, great defence, wasn't it, from Saints? Jack Wellesby comes across along with Lewis, Dodd and Davis and just manages to get him over the sideline. Gareth O'Brien's doing some work, fanning across the back of the line a number of times. He's a big key indicator to where Leigh are going to attack.
It's been a high-quality defensive game, this, by both sides. Some very patient edges in the main, and an aggressive press through the middle of the field, and it feels like semi-final rugby. This is the intensity that you feel as a player at Old Trafford, or in those semi-finals when you go into Old Trafford. So great practice here for both sides.
2 more rounds of the regular season to go after this game. St Helens will face Warrington next, then they have a home game against Hull, and they've come up with an error.
Last 2 sets of 6, 2 errors from them. Like I said before, they're a bit rattled. They're a very disciplined side, Saints, and now making errors. Leigh are really turning the screw on them. You can see the ball just dips down in front of him. Mumbai just throws that ball. It's not good enough. Leigh celebrate. They've been physical carrying the ball. They've been physical defending. And Saints have got to answer some questions defensively, exactly the same as what Leigh did in that first half.
And you know what this smells of? This game smells of the Challenge Cup semi-final. Pressure from Saints, Leigh resilient, and then Leigh getting some possession and snatching it.
O'Brien, little burst of pace from Tom Briscoe, and they were offside. Oh, I beg your pardon, no, it's a scrum offence.
Lachlan, it's a break early. Do you want to reform or do you want the penalty? What do you want to do?
Seeing mentality, and I think it was Wellesby that shoot the line, come out the scrum a bit too early for the ref.
Held in, isn't it, by Leigh? Not a fan of it, but teams are doing it. All teams are doing it, aren't they? Holding the ball in.
Chris Kemp will making the point, if they do it again this scrum, then somebody goes in the bin.
You know, it's a bit of respect as well for the Leopards, knowing how lethal they are. LMS with a bit of a rugby union style push, trying to push them backwards.
The scrum is completed. Here's Lamb. O'Brien tips the ball on, and Briscoe is bundled into touch.
It's nice defence again. Davis and Benison, now how Saints celebrate defensive plays is similar to how you'd celebrate a try. Well, it's Lamb and O'Brien, they actually do a good job. Benison comes in. It's a nice read defensively on that edge because it disrupts the play. It's a scratchy pass. And then Davis and Benison get on to the next task, which is to put Tom Briscoe into touch, which both players are involved in doing.
It's a problem of their own making, that, for the Leigh Leopards, rather than Saints' efficiency in defence, and grimaces on the Leigh bench because they haven't spent that much time in Saints territory during this game. They spent probably more in this second half than they did in the entire first 40 minutes.
You're right, and it's always about like stripping the numbers of the defence, but you've got to make sure that you get that right, and you're pretty clinical.
Oh, another big hit. It was Frankie Holton leading the way there. So Leigh now with some defending to do after Saints have broken the shackles. Here is Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Still as enthusiastic as ever, LMS, 37 years of age. Just like his skipper James Roby, another 37-year-old. Dodds. The kick is another one for O'Brien to go up for, and O'Brien loses it. First blot on his copybook tonight is Makinson for a second of the night. The referee doesn't award it yet. Chris Kendall wants to find out, I think, if that ball was grounded properly, but he's also having a look at what's going on between the players. It's cleared up now, but he reckons it's a try. And it's onside, offside. Marcus Griffiths will be looking at.
So it's 0 tackle. We've got an on-field decision of a try, onside, offside. So on the foot, please. So everybody other than the person playing the ball is onside. So we can just go through here, see if he gets placed onside. He is now placed onside because the kicker's gone in front of him. Okay, so have we got a close-up of that just to make sure there's no issues in it? So the ball is lost forward. So we now need to go to the pick-up by St Helens. Roby is in possession of the ball. Yeah, we're good there, so we can keep going. So yeah, that's all good up to this point. Roby gains possession of the ball. And then I think we can go through to the grounding. Pass is okay, and now we're onto the grounding. He's in possession of the ball, in possession. And the momentum has took him over the line. Thank you, I have a decision.
Leigh supporters hoping maybe that the video ref would decide that Tommy Makinson hadn't grounded that ball correctly, but he slithered over the try line, and that is going to be confirmed. His second try of the night to nudge the Saints in front. And a couple of old school players there. Roby alert to the opportunity, and Makinson getting his second try of the night, his 22nd try of the season.
Well, a good kick, isn't it, from Lewis Doddon? The kick's only as good as the chase, and again, it's that man, Mark Percival, who does enough to just unsettle Gareth O'Brien, and then the eyes lit up, didn't it, from James Roby? The old stager, when he gets down here, look at him, he just has a little look up. He then senses there's a mistake, and he's the first to react, picks it up cleanly, and he knows that all he's got to do is attract some Leigh defenders, gets the ball out to that man.
And it's a great finish from Tommy Makinson. He still had a bit to do there. A brave decision to duck his head, slide over the line. 22 for the season, closing in on Josh Charnley and Tom Johnston. Now overtaking Abbas Miski. What a finisher he's been throughout his career.
Mark Percival with the conversion opportunity, a difficult one from wide outs. Kicked 43 this season, including this evening's conversion of the first Makinson try. This one a difficult prospect though, and he's on target. .6, the Saints lead.
Yeah, it's in a very good chase from Mark Percival. James Roby with a cute slide and pick up. And then, as we said, Tommy Makinson with a great finish in close quarters. Fantastic finisher in all positions, tight positions, positions where he shouldn't score. Well, Tommy Makinson has a great habit of getting over that try line.
Makinson, prolific at the moment, and closing the gap in that battle for the top try scorer. Tom Johnston, Josh Charnley, Abbas Miski, Tommy Makinson. Now then, Roby with another break. He's got Batchelor in support. He's opted to go for Moses Mbai. I think Batchelor might have been the best opportunity.
Wrong side.
There's a Leigh Leopards player down in back play. Saints no mercy. Ben Reynolds it is who is down. Welsby plays the ball. Saints looking to hit hard again. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook has some of the sting gone out of these Leigh tackles. LMS playing the ball. Moses Mbai on the last little kick from Dodd, but O'Brien is there.
Well, James Roby doing a job at loose forward now, I think. And he just, when he goes through, he had options either side, and for me, he picks the wrong one. Joe Batchelor was the man on the right-hand side. But you're caught in the action, and you've got to make a decision straight away. And again, look at Leigh and Matt Percival yet again coming across people, trying to just cut people down.
And how much will that try have just settled Saints down? You know, you felt it was almost frantic in the opening 10 minutes of this first half of Saints searching for ways to score. Well, it came through the simplest route, and it's just settled them down. And Saints look controlled and calm right now.
And that's the 5th tackle, and Leigh are still inside their own 30. And Reynolds drives the ball downfield. Elsewhere tonight, Wakefield have got points on the board, but that's the full-time score. Gallant late effort from Trinity, but they've lost 18 points to 10 at home from Catalan, who'd suffered back-to-back defeats, so they're back on track. Hull KR 24-12 up at Huddersfield, and Castleford on course for victory against Hull FC, which will, I think, consign Wakefield to relegation.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Desperately sad for Wakefield.
Good footwork from Matautia. Delaney has failed that head injury assessment. Can't say I'm surprised after that tackle. It's Percival cutting infield. And Saints beginning to find the gaps. Here's Welsby. Welsby gets the pass away despite the efforts of the Leigh defences. Moses and by now.
It's just poor. It's just a bit scrappy from Saints. Look, the game is opening up, and the energy which Leigh had to expend in that first half might well be biting now. It might well be biting for them through the middle of the field more than anywhere. But Saints, just like Paul Rowland mentioned, I think just a little bit off. Not a lot, just a little bit, and it manifests itself there. Ball on the ground, poor positional awareness from Mbaye.
But again, you've got to credit the way that Leigh defended. Look, they're the first team to be promoted to make the playoffs, aren't they? I don't think there's many teams that's going to be in the playoffs that are going to fancy playing against this Leopard side. They've shown tonight, they've shown in the cup final, the stars, the quality that they've got, and that they can fight it out in tough games. They really can.
But this is an issue because, look, as tough as you are, and look, as hot as your defence is, and as much as you back your defence, if you give Saints possession, now it was Gildart just before half-time with a mistake that gifted Saints an opportunity that nearly cost them. And it's that man again, Gildart, with an error. And if you give Saints opportunities and opportunities, well, they grow in energy, but they're also going to take some chances, you feel.
Players catching their breath again. Paul Wellens, in his first season, of course, at the helm. 7 defeats from 24 rounds for Saints, and a cup defeat at the semi-final stage for the 2nd successive year. So it's been a tough season for the Saints, but in the last few weeks, having got over that semi-final defeat, they have looked more like it.
But let's not forget, they went to Australia, World Cup champions, aren't they? Beat Penrith in their own back garden.
It has been a long campaign for them already. Here's Welsby, and Kai O'Donnell comes out very quickly. Joe Mellor in there as well. Saints looking to turn the screw here now. Matty Lees. 4 tackles gone. Leigh knowing this is a crucial point to the game. This game could get away from them here if Saints really put their foot down. They might be putting their foot down here. They are with Johnny Lomax. Lomax increases the Saints lead with his 10th of the season. And Saints beginning to assert their authority here now. Leigh have put up a heroic defensive effort, but is it beginning to tell?
Yeah, it is, and look, there's one man I think's made a real difference for St Helens, and it's James Roby. James Roby's been shifted to loose forward, and just look at the squareness from him. Look at him engage Mulhern and Halton, and then it's too much to do for Ben Reynolds, but it all comes through. We speak about ball playing through the middle. Well, making sure you fix and stop defenders from being able to go and help your edge is important. Well, James Roby, not only has he made a break doing that, he's also put one on a plate here for Johnny Lomax. Had a little bit to do, used his speed and just fell to Reynolds' outside shoulder. But the experience from that man, James Roby, not playing out a dummy half, but playing as loose forward. I think he's had some incredible touches here for St Helens.
Johnny Lomax having this incredible partnership with Lewis Dodd that has survived the whole season. He's just turned 33. That's 3 games in a row he's been a try scorer. He's having his best season in terms of try scoring since 2019. And that try has put daylight between Saints and the Leigh Leopards. And Percival, 2 from 2 for him. Mark Percival has accumulated over 1,000 points for Saints and has an 82% success rate with his goal kicking. It's his testimonial season, Mark Percival. Missed with that one across the face of the posts. 16-6 coming up to the hour mark.
Saints took the time to get into the stride, haven't they? Lost 5 of their opening 10 games, and some fans questioned the appointment of Paul Wellens. Well, I think he's one of the brightest coaches that we've got, and he's now showing his worth. What he's done, going down to Australia, beating Penrith in their own back garden, like I said, and now making a push to get to the grand final again. Quality coach, quality person.
Probably get a rugby pitch in your back garden, Tez, wouldn't we? A full one.
Now then, what have Leigh got? Tom Amone trying to turn the tide with that challenge, because Leigh need to respond.
Well, 20 minutes to go in this game, and there's one thing from this Leigh side that we've seen this year and over the last couple of years as well. They've got so much fight, they've got so much effort to work for each other. Well, this scoreline, look, the games that they played at the beginning of the year, they were 12 points behind, weren't they? They're 12 points behind in this game. Or 10 points behind, sorry.
Yeah, it's just how many times you can go to that well for energy and it still be there. And look, Saints got a lucky try and a mistake from Gareth O'Brien. But like I said, that put a pin and just burst the bubble of pressure, anxiety in the stadium. And now Saints seem so much more settled, so much more comfortable now.
And they're giving the ball a bit of width. And they give the ball to Ben Davis. And Davis dumped to the ground. Hardacre's tackle. Lomax with the kick. O'Brien is going to come for it, and so are the Saints defenders. They're coming for Gareth O'Brien.
Well, it's just relentless, isn't it, from Saints now? They do end games well. They always have done. The battles that they have been in over the years, they're a fit side, and Joe Mellor just trying to weave his way through that defensive line.
Playing the ball on the halfway line. Here is Amone, another ever-present figure in the Leigh side in this impressive season. Makes some yards. He's second to Paul Vaughan in terms of yardage gained is Tom Amone. Most meters. O'Brien. Bappy, here is Ben Reynolds. Reynolds checks and then runs into a posse of Saints defenders there. That's the 5th tackle. Ipape. It's on the last. They're running it. They're running it to Gildart. Gildart almost finding a way through. He loses possession, and Roby scoops it up.
Mark Percival's got to be really careful on that right edge for St Helens, because for me that's just way too easy. When the timing and execution of your passes is right, Percival being reckless just presents opportunities. Now Saints scramble well. Paul Rowley mentioned getting numbers into the picture. Well, look, Saints do that well, but just got to be careful.
They're struggling here, Saints. That right edge in particular is struggling. The issue is at Gildart. Gildart, those took a whack.
Saints with the potential of going top this evening if they can add another 14 points without conceding and go on top of the table on points difference. Catalan having won this evening at Wakefield. Briscoe cut down by Matty Lees and co. Just on the halfway line. Full time at Huddersfield and Hull KR have triumphed. And Castleford 23-6 against Hull FC. On their way to safety, the Tigers. And Catalan winners already. Here, Saints heading for victory into the final quarter. Unless Leigh can find a cutting edge. They had a cutting edge in the early stages of the game when Oliver Gildard scored, but they haven't troubled them since. And Edwin Impapi might. Robbie Mulhern will get the try, and Leigh are alive. Impapi with the break, Mulhern on his shoulder. He gets his 4th of the season. Kick to come. Bang in front of the sticks. And Leigh aren't done yet.
Well, that's the character that they've got in the side in 2023. Edwin Impapi, he goes from the ruck, he gets through and by and Morgan Knowles, and he just has the power to go through, get this offload away from Robbie Mulhern. Last week when you watched Robbie Mulhern, thought he was exceptional against Huddersfield, over 200 metres carrying the ball, and to turn up on 64 minutes, still with your side and pushing up to the delight of the coach, Adrian Lamb. Well, I just think you look at this side, you look at them celebrate. It's been a tough year and everyone's expecting them to be at the bottom of the table. Well, let me tell you, and I said it before, people are going to fear this side in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been a marvellous season for him. Rob Mulhern. Talk about work rate and effort as Tom Lamone just comes into shot. Well, those two together with Asiata through the middle have been incredible. And they've been equally impressive tonight without the main man Asiata linking them together.
Reynolds to narrow the gap still further and set up what could be a fantastic final 15 minutes, because Saints aren't home and dry yet. Reynolds does just that. 16-12 the scoreline.
Yeah, we've had 2 hookers playing first receiver with Roby the other end. This is Impapi. It's such a soft defensive decision from Moses Mbaye. Impapi just takes his inside shoulder far too easily. You know he's a running threat, and like you said, what a support play from Robbie Mulhern. 35 tackles deep into an energy-full performance. Big effort from him, who's been, I think, magnificent for Leigh this year.
Leigh, of course, already guaranteed a playoff spot in the playoffs for the first time. Saints still motoring along in pursuit of their drive for 5. Bit of misfiring along the way. Mulhern, there's a price to pay for scoring a try like that against Saints.
It was Mumbai that hit him as well, wasn't it?
And Mulhern just gets to his feet nonchalantly. Oh, quick hands, and Hardacre puts the ball down, and Saints will have it back. Referee says play on. Saints have got it back. Benison pounced. Could be an immediate response coming from the Saints.
It was a good ball from Gareth O'Brien. He just couldn't quite take it, could he, Zach Hardacre?
Because Benison was right in his face.
Great tackle from Benison.
Saints now immediately looking to counter. Knowles plays the ball. Here it comes to Lomax. Lomax. Oh, then it's spilled by Percival. It was quick hands and too quick in the end.
Well, that's the first mistake of the night, isn't it, for the centre? Look, he punches into that space. He catches that ball. I'm sure he thinks, right, head down, I'll power it over the line. Unfortunately, loses it.
It's just a bit of a poor ball from Jack Welsby. I don't think Jack Welsby's had a great night tonight. I don't think he's had his best game. That for me was just not quite on the money to Mark Percival. He'll be disappointed. He has such high standards. He's a competitor in every sense. Saints 16-12 up here have had opportunities maybe to be another 10, 18 points up. Credit Leigh's defence, and also Saints maybe a lack of execution.
Hardacre with the pace and the determination. These two sides have played the most games of any sides in Super League this season. Leigh by virtue of their Challenge Cup involvement, Saints with their World Club Challenge.
He's got hold of his shirt too. Go to the playoff maximum.
A long season and still time to go. 2 more rounds of the regular season, the playoffs, and then they'll be hoping the grand final. Here is Impapi now. No NRL experience for him. They picked him up from the PNG Hunters in the Queensland Cup, did Leigh Leopards. Adrian Lamb's PNG connections working well there. Here is Gareth O'Brien just over the halfway line. Oh, O'Brien's taken a knock in the tackle. And referee Chris Kendall, all heart, pick the ball up and play it on alongside him, he says.
Well, he stares down, doesn't he, Gareth O'Brien? He was quite confident in his initial thoughts that the tackle was okay. He wanted the ball to be played at the side of that, so he wasn't looking for any foul play.
It's concerning for Gareth O'Brien. When he played with him in 2013, here a number of bad concussions. His career's been punctuated by concussive injuries. There's nothing in it at all.
Yeah.
It's just a heavy contact. But with a player with Gareth O'Brien's history of a lot of concussive injuries, is Kendall here producing the green card. 2 minutes on the sideline for Gareth O'Brien.
Well, and I'm sure he wasn't playing for the penalty then, Gareth O'Brien. I said he's hit the ground. He wasn't comfortable when he was down on the ground, but now it's cost his side for a couple of minutes anyway.
And Matt Davis comes onto the field immediately as the kick is high, and Wellesby is underneath it. Gareth O'Brien puts himself in the firing line.
Benison's had a good game, Bill. You know, he's a smart guy. Gareth O'Brien's got 2 minutes on the sideline, but yeah, the offside here from Leigh. Trying to fight the way back into it, trying to find some energy, but just getting it wrong, just creeping in front of Chris Kendall. Then left with no choice but to penalise him on Mulhern and Mellor for just being a step in front.
Not a good couple of minutes for Leigh this, losing O'Brien. Then the penalty. Chris Chester, the football manager, is alongside. Is that his correct title?
Football director, is it?
Football director.
Good work from the referee, Chris Kendall, as well, not to react to the Leigh players calling for the penalty when Gareth O'Brien went down. And then on that, he had to come up with another big call, giving the penalty away for being offside.
That was a bit of a mess at the play of the ball, and just for a moment, I thought Chris Kendall was going to whistle there for a knock-on, and Saints have managed to retain possession. And they are threatening once again. Leigh's storming through the middle.
It's a good change of direction from Matty Leigh's back against the grain.
The front row with a lot of pressure on his shoulders, of course, with Walmsley and Ignatius Passy out of action for the remainder of the season. And Leigh back on their own try line. Saints looking to seal this game. Inside the last 10 minutes. Slender lead for the champions. Moses Mbai stepping, wriggling, then find Lewis Dodd, and Lewis Dodd likewise, but Joe Mellor brings him down. Davis there as well. Mbai once more. Fires the pass, little kick ahead, too strong. And the referee is going to ask for video ref Marcus Griffiths to look at that challenge on Ben Davis.
So it's tackle 5, we've got no try. Can we just check whether he's been tripped in the process? So, can we have that? This might help. So, the ball is kicked by Davis. Everybody is onside. Hardacre is entitled to stand his ground there as long as he doesn't move towards the player. So he's entitled to hold his ground. His feet stay planted and he holds the ground. We can just carry on going through to see if the ball goes dead. So just keep going till it goes dead. Thank you, I've got a decision.
No joy for the Saints there, despite the supporters at that end. Hopes. Because Zach Hardacre was perfectly entitled to stand his ground. And it'll be a 20-metre restart, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, the frustration, when you play those in slow motion, it looks like he's got an edge. Well, this is, you know, that play at full speed. I don't think Zach Hardacre has to move or has the time to move. St Helens fans are unhappy. This is game on, Bill. I'm telling you now, there's something in this game still for Leigh.
Oh, absolutely. There's only 4 points in this game. But James Bell with the shove. Tom Amone. They're looking out for him. Denying him the territory. Here is Mulhern, and Mulhern, Bell flying out of the line.
Couldn't get past the advantage line. I tell you what, you've got to be brave to carry some of these balls in and out.
Here's Frankie Holton, injured on his Leigh debut against Warrington in May and missed 13 games. Holton is back, and what a game to be involved in tonight. O'Brien, here is Gildart now. Gildart, Chamberlain outside him, and Chamberlain manages to stay in the field of play.
They've tied Mark Percival in knots again. Bill, he's just come up with a few poor reads, maybe not lacking help from the middle, but Leigh have looked threatening that well.
Mellor out the back to Reynolds, Reynolds to Hardacre, Hardacre cuts back in field, Metalchia gets a hold of him. Hardacre complaining about a shot in the eye, I think it was. On the last here, on the last, they are running it, it's still alive, and that will be the turner. Oh, just for a moment. Kai O'Donnell, I think it was, couldn't keep it going.
Again, they don't score, but it's still not a bad place to turn the ball over. If you're a lead player now, you've got 20 metres away from Saints line. The line speed's going to be good. They're going to be working hard here. Look at that. Just the acceleration going into contact.
And Moni and Hipape with the challenge on Makinson. Castleford Tigers on course for Super League survival. 29-12, the latest score there. Is Makinson, O'Donnell and Mulhern with the tackle on him. This has been ferocious, red hot on a sweltering evening at the Totally Wicked Stadium. It's been on the edge, and yet it's just stayed on the right side of the edge. Oh, Saints have kept it alive somehow there, and then they've lost the ball. Oh, Briscoe picks up, Briscoe is away, LMS chasing, but Briscoe's going to get the try. Briscoe with the try.
What?
The scores are level, but he hasn't given the try yet, Chris Kendall. Another call to Marcus Griffiths. No try, he says. Somebody has touched the ball. According to Chris Kendall, that is his suspicion.
Got 0 tackle, no try, so we're checking the touch in flight. So that has gone backwards in relation to the ground. So, thank you. Oh, we'll have another look, okay. So we know that went backwards in relation to ground. We're seeing whether this ball has been touched. It's before this, so it's a possible touch by Joe Mellor. This is it. So has the ball been touched? Yes, you can see his finger has touched the ball. Okay, can we just have that on the wide just to confirm where the possession will be? So we know that went backwards in relation to the ground. Thank you, I have a decision.
Oh, cruel luck for the Leigh Leopards. Such fine margins in a contest like this. The fingertip touch of Joe Mellor has denied Leigh the chance to bring the scores level.
And again, it's a good call from Chris Kendall, isn't it? Look, just a slight change of direction. The ball, when it's passed, you can see the puff of the cheeks from Joe Mellor as well. And you've got Eamon McManus celebrating.
Those two were sitting side by side at Wembley.
Yeah.
Eamon McManus was celebrating alongside against Derek, alongside Derek, and now look at the difference in emotions.
Yeah, they're not celebrating together now. I think Derek will be aggrieved. I think there's an argument that the James Bell knock-on was not under control and hit a Leigh player, which by definition is a knock-on. I know it went backwards after that, but it's if he's lost control and it hits a Leigh player, for me that's a knock-on. So maybe Leigh feel slightly aggrieved.
6 minutes to go. Tom Briscoe thought he'd brought the scores level. The Leigh supporters at that end of the ground thought so. With the kick to come. Not to be. And that might be it for the Leigh Leopards tonight. There is a price to pay, you know, for denying St Helens a Challenge Cup final place, which is what Leigh did just a few weeks ago. And I think Leigh are paying it tonight. Saints aren't going to have the big enough winning margin to go top of the table. But they are going to be in the mix for that first place, that is for sure. Dodd with the kick. O'Brien again. Oh no, and not O'Brien. It's Welsby. And Welsby just cannot get to the line, and that'll be the turnover.
Some tackle by Zach Hardaker, this. I think Zach Hardaker's played some of his best rugby whilst at Leigh. Not for anything flash, for big efforts like that. For defensive desperation that's led the way and inspired his team. Now they're in a difficult position here through a kick from Lewis Dodd, and Saints will be teeing off on them. But an incredible defensive display by Leigh.
Wow. Oh no, and then the knock-on, I think, from Reynolds. Or Briscoe had to play the ball. And that could be curtains, that could be game over. Game up for the Leigh Leopards. Briscoe's face tells it all.
Yeah, an incorrect play the ball from Tom Briscoe, who's had a brilliant year for the Leopards.
He just dropped it on the towel.
What an absolute outstanding game this has been. In these conditions, like, both sets have absolutely torn into each other. And yet Adrian Lamb and Chris Chester might be disappointed if they go on to lose this game. But I'm sure that when they look back and review this game, they will take so much confidence into the last two games of the year and then into the playoffs.
Tell you what, technically speaking, this is Leigh's third game in a week, because they played 2 games against Huddersfield, admittedly in 2 halves. But now they're playing Saints in a full-blooded contest, and Saints are looking to finally put this one to bed and see off the challenge of the noisy neighbours. Lomax, second half try scorer for the Saints. Here is Bell, who has been outstanding and deserves a try, but has lost it, and it's then been picked up by Batchelor, and the referee, I think, is going to have to go to the video ref once more, because that ball came out as Bell was trying to get it down. Batchelor picked up the pieces. Chris Kendall has a try in his mind to seal this game. Another call to Marcus Griffiths.
So it's tackle free. We've got an on-field decision to try. We're just checking how the ball comes out. The live on-field call is that it was pulled out. So Bell is moving. So we can just have a different angle of that, just so we can see Lamb and the ball at the same time. So at this point, nobody is on the ball. Lamb is on the ball there, and that is a pulling action. So now can we go to the pick-up? He picks it up, and he just needs to ground the ball. Thank you, I have a decision.
So this game is settled by the try from Joe Batchelor, 4th of the season. And Leigh will look at it and think they have been the masters of their own downfall. Gareth O'Brien's knock-on, conceding a try. That little pull on the ball from Lachlan Lamb, and the ball comes out and Batchelor picks up the pieces.
Yeah, when it's mattered, I think Leigh have just come up with errors. Tom Briscoe with the incorrect play of the ball. As you said, Gareth O'Brien's knock-on for the first try. I think in desperation, Lachlan Lamb has no choice but to try and steal the ball from Bell's carry. Looking like he's going to drive over the line. God, when you play that full speed, I mean, it's just as a defender, I've been in this situation so many times. Look, James Bell's a compulsive offloader of the ball. You're just trying to wrap it up. There's a little pull on it. That could have gone either way, but Saints will be delighted. Batchelor with a try. Paul Helens not using his pen, using his hands and applauding his team. Joe Batchelor, big performance from him.
Yeah.
Huge efforts.
Well-earned try that.
Yeah, and his effort areas, the things that he just leads the way. Some big meters made in the back row as well. Sione Matauti has gone for 166 meters, which is huge. Big performances all over the field for Saints.
Percival, 2 from 3 for him this evening. And this to round off a hard-fought victory for the Saints. 22 points to 12. Last couple of minutes. Joe Batchelor's 4th of the season. And they missed him at the start of the season, Joe Batchelor. He had that ankle injury, kept him out for a long while. No coincidence that things have turned round.
Since he's come back, yeah, quite agree. He's got an uncanny knack of being in the right place at the right time. But like I said earlier on in the game, that the hard work that he puts into getting those areas, and both sets of these players as they go short, they are absolutely out on the feet.
And Paul, what despite fantastic take from Ben Davies initially.
Yeah, he gets it, doesn't he, in the first attempt, and then loses it when it comes down low. Great attempt to come get that. Comes down on the back of Bell. As he's going to ground, he loses possession.
Well, this game has lived up to expectations.
Oh, hasn't it?
The third meeting of these two sides this season, and Saints are going to take the honours on this occasion. Leigh supporters will point out that it's still 2-1 in their favour. Who knows? There might be a 4th instalment.
Maybe so, but the intensity that both these sides have shown defensively is the blueprint for the rest of the competition to follow. I think the intensity and how viciously they've defended at times has been brutal. Both sides would like to be more clinical with the ball, I'm sure. Sometimes this time of year it's just about that intensity of defence.
The Saints can expect a pretty intense game next time out against Warrington. They're away there. And the intensity lasts right up to the final few minutes.
I tell you what, James Bell hasn't missed Tom Amon. Every time he's carried the ball, that's the second shot that he's put on him. Look, he comes in really hard. I know he's helped out by LMS over the top, but the initial line speed, he dips, he tries to get underneath. Tom Amon braces himself for that challenge, but James Bell's effort to just get off the line and get his body in front of him has been very good. He's been outstanding this game.
Yeah, fearless.
Is this a statement win from Saints?
I think defensively, look, they've conceded 12 points against Leigh. The average 14 for the year. As it stands, they've got the best defence in the competition. Defensively, you'd be delighted. And effort and all of that, delighted. They just need to fine-tune their attack. For me, that's been their only issue this year, is that attacking fluency.
Which is odd, given that they've had the same half-back combination throughout the season.
Yeah.
They won't be worrying about that tonight, the Saints supporters. They have put the Leigh Leopards in their place. The Leopards who came here with 2 victories over the Saints to their name, including in that Challenge Cup semi-final, which hurt the Saints. That hurts. And Saints have put the record straight here tonight, but it has taken some doing, because this has been a titanic tussle. Tommy Makinson, the eye puffed up, wearing the scars, and after a brutal, at times frenzied game, the players have the sportsmanship to salute each other, as well they might, because this has been a breathtaking contest. We salute you. 22-12, Saints have won.
Thank you.